Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Northern. I'm here with yet another video, and the purpose of this is to describe another murder of our brothers at the hands of white police officers. Now, this is beginning to get frustrating to me because the purpose of me doing these videos in the first place was to motivate my people to do things for themselves so they don't have to rely on no one else. My purpose was not to come on here and continually talk about what somebody else is doing to us because we refuse to do for ourselves. And as long as we don't provide for our own needs, we force ourselves to work for those that are killing us. It's just plain and simple as that. And if we can find the motivation to continually work and provide a better way of life for somebody else to kill us, then why can't we find the motivation to work for ourselves so that we can live? What they're doing to us, this should be our fuel to make us do for ourselves by creating businesses and industries around our essential needs. That way we can separate ourselves from our oppressors and their vicious ways. Regardless of the history, let's say we don't have to go back 100 years or so. If you just go back 2, 3 months, if we were living peacefully with whites, and then 2 months ago or so, you have the Ahmaud Arbery case, then you have the Breonna Taylor case, and then now you have the George Floyd case, wouldn't that be enough for you to question your relationship while you would continue it with these people? If everything was going smooth, and all of a sudden you had these three incidences, that alone should be enough for you to at least question it. My position is this: whites mentally have not evolved in the last 500 years. The same brutal tactics they use to obtain power, they use today to maintain power. And if your Bible that you study that makes you love and embrace your enemy continue along this path, you should begin to question that as well. Because the Bible that I read, the way I interpret it, it says for its people not to be a part of this world. It doesn't call you to make this system better, but it does call for you to be separate from it. Now, I don't know if your cotton candy pastor is telling you different, but he has a calling to teach God's word. I feel as if I have a calling to teach my people, and my people are those who look like me, that reflect me. With this George Floyd case in Minneapolis, they have video footage of his initial contact with the police. Well, not his initial. They show him in handcuffs, standing up against the wall. This is like 4 minutes before he's on the ground, but the 4 minutes is missing, is gone. I don't know why, if he's been handcuffed, why are you sitting him on the ground, especially when the police vehicle is pulling up? Like maybe you was a officer on patrol, walking and responding to the call. But once you put handcuffs on a person, they are now in your custody. and you should be transporting them straight from this scene to the police department. When the other vehicle pulled up, even if you didn't have your own vehicle, hey, take this guy down to the police station. There's no reason for him to be there once he's handcuffed and once this other police vehicle pull up. And especially there's no reason for him to be on the ground with another monster with his knee on this man's throat, talking about get up, get in the car. The man is telling you, please, sir, please, I can't breathe. You're having a conversation with this guy. All the air that he has in his body, he's using to say these last words. He's not able to draw in new air. This is where the stupidity of whites shine. They feel that if you talk, you can breathe. You can talk as air leave out your body, but you can't take in air when someone is sitting on your throat. And this man has his knee on this guy's throat for like 7 minutes. Why does it take this long to get this man in the car and get him to the get him into the system to see whatever crime he committed? Let the court decide what his punishment is. But the slightest resistance that blacks give or that blacks offer, whites interpret this as a death sentence. They tell you over and over again. I read the comments. You know, I bet you this guy has a rap sheet a mile long. It doesn't matter what his rap sheet is. You're arresting him for what he's doing right now. But because he has a criminal record, which should not be no big shock to anybody um, with an IQ larger than their shoe size. But white people are fascinated when they see that a black man has a criminal record in a system where they own and control none of the businesses and industries, where whites are set and establish all the laws. It is no big shock to me why blacks have criminal records. It is no big shock to me why blacks are 25, 30 times more likely to be arrested than whites. When you own and control nothing that supports your way of life. So when I say to my people, let's separate from whites, I get resistance. So I say to you, well, then let's separate whites from the responsibility of putting food on our table. Let's separate whites from the responsibility of putting clothes on our back. Let's separate whites from the responsibility of educating our children, providing for our health, our jobs. Let's come together as a people and create an economic and political force to protect and safeguard our way of life. Let's change laws to protect and preserve our way of life. Any police officer who killed an unarmed black man in the attempt to arrest him, whatever lawsuit results from this, that officer should be responsible for a portion of it. And then the rest comes from the city or state where that police officer was employed. Any holdings that that police officer had 5 years prior to this incident is eligible to be drawn from. So you're not going to be able to kill our people and then sign your assets over to your wife, your brother, your sister, your mother, and then claim you're broke, you have nothing. No. Whatever you had in your possession 5 years prior to this incident is eligible to be captured to pay this debt. Whites, they're not going to get better. So stop waiting on it. And to be honest, they're not worth it in the first place. And your children is too valuable of a bet for you to risk waiting on whites to get better. I'm not going to put my child in a situation where I know the odds are stacked against them. You know, you have um, this article floating around the internet where you have Alaskan sailors selling salmon directly to the customer. We're the only one that's doing this. You're going to buy salmon straight from the people who caught it, straight to you. Do you know your fishermen? Well, that's fine and good. But we have black farmers right here in this country that we can create direct buys for. And we know them. They are our family. They are our true family. We can create direct buys for everything that we need for our clothes, our health needs, everything. When blacks or anyone talk about discrimination, loving your enemy does not stop discrimination. Being kind and forgiving does not stop discrimination. What stops that is ownership and control. Because as long as we don't own anything, everywhere we go, someone has the right or authority to deny or limit our access. You own and control your own interests. No one can stop you from coming in there. Can somebody stop the Fords from coming to their own plant? Can somebody stop the Fords from coming to their own hospital? Can somebody stop the Fords from coming to their own museum? No. But they can stop anybody else they want to stop them coming in there. So as long as whoever you're listening to continues you on this path of non-ownership and non-control, we're going to continue making videos like this. You're going to continue ignoring tactics and strategies that will alter this. Because why? Because you want to satisfy your gut. Something in your gut is telling you that we all can get along. We all can live in peace. We all made in God's image. And that's not true. Stop trying to satisfy your gut. Look at the evidence around you. Look at your family. Look at your friends. Look at your children. Are they worth sending out there? Would you really risk putting your people out there in a situation where they have no ownership, no control, everything they receive is at the gift or at the whim of someone else? We see and they see the time and era that we live in now, and you see no compassion whatsoever from these white people. With the Breonna Taylor case in Kentucky, when she was shot and killed by police entering her home with a no-knock warranty, even though the person that the police had came there to look for was already in police custody. You done shot and killed this woman, but without a moment's concern, no compassion whatsoever. What do the police do? They lie. They lie and say they did announce themselves. And when her boyfriend fired back, he knew he was firing at police officers. This is what they said. That alone lets you know what the mentality of these people are. How do you shoot and kill someone and have no guilt, no remorse, to lower your head, no humility, to lower your, yeah, this is what we did. Uh, no, they don't. They not even killed a woman, but they try to arrest the boyfriend. So this is not just white people we fighting against. This is a whole system that supports them. Because only a system can protect white people from doing this. When they kill your people and you take this case to their court system, and when they get off, they get all the back pay that they should have got had they been on the job. See, we can create laws that will prohibit this. Because if you are in the act of arresting someone, if you do anything that puts you in anywhere in the neighborhood of violating someone's rights, that should be a reason alone to deny you compensation. We are not paying you to violate people's rights. You even being accused of doing that is reason for to be terminated. And I'm not talking about terminated from this department and you get to work in another department somewhere else. Terminated from law practice whatsoever, anywhere on the face of this planet. Before I leave this video, let me say one thing. All the things I talked about, there is a plan in place to do that. We don't have to stay in this position of vulnerability and weakness throughout our whole existence. We can implement new plans and new strategies to strengthen our people, to protect them when they go out into the world, to determine our own course of life. And if what we see now is not proof enough, what will be? Or are you still waiting or listening to your gut? I'm in this video, and with this video, with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.